Hello and welcome back to another Schmeat video. Today we're going to get into every NBA team's toughest 2021 free agent decision. For the Hornets, I've referenced this on multiple occasions. It's the Monk versus Devontae Graham debate. Which one to keep, because it's very unlikely we keep both of them because we do have to pay a center. So I think that might be the one that Zach Buckley is going to reference. But we're going to check out what other teams' decisions it's going to be. I see Lonzo Ball, and that's a big Pelicans decision if they should keep him or not. It looks like they're not going to keep him. It's just what's been going on. But yeah, let's get into it. So for the Atlanta Hawks, keeping John Collins, that is a big one. Keep him if he's not asking for max money, which I think he is, which is the really disappointing thing, because I don't know who's telling him he's a max player. Obviously, he puts up like 20 and 10 on a consistent basis, 20 points and 10 rebounds, that is. But he's just not a max guy, and I don't know who's in his ear telling him. I guess his agent is pushing for it, but I don't know. I don't know if the Atlanta Hawks will pay him that much, but I know an NBA team will. But yeah, that's going to be a big one. The club instead threw a $90 million extension offer, and he declined that. So yeah. So for the Boston Celtics, is Evan Fournier coming back? If the Hornets could pick up Evan Fournier, I'd be all for that. But I don't know. How's he been for? So while his numbers were bolstered while playing Orlando, how much is he averaging with the Boston Celtics? Is he averaging this with the Boston Celtics? I'm not sure, but yeah, that's going to be a big one. Also, Jaylen Brown is injured. I made that video yesterday, so they just have to figure out what depth will work with their two all-star wing players. What they really need a center like us, but yeah. What's the right price for Bruce Brown as a free agent? I probably reference this with every free agent I see, but Bruce Brown would be perfect for the Hornets. The Hornets have not experimented with a defensive-minded point guard or shooting guard. Obviously, Terry Rozier holds his own on the defensive end. Devontae Graham, not so much. But with LaMelo, I think it'd be a really good experiment to put Bruce Brown as the backup point guard to run the backup unit, because you got to face it, our backup. This is turning into a Charlotte Hornet video. This backup unit that we have, Malik Monk doesn't play any defense. Miles Bridges occasionally. Jalen McDaniels is trying to play defense, but yeah, he's still growing into his body, I think. So I think Bruce Brown would be a great addition for the Hornets. But for the Nets, if you can keep a defensive guy as well, because they got enough offense, they don't need more offense. But if you can keep another defensive guy, then yeah. I feel like Spencer Dinwiddie for them is another big free agent decision. They probably won't pay him. They say Landry Shamet, he's not that important of a role. Charlotte Hornets, which guard stays? Yeah, that is a big one. Yeah, what do they say about it? Wouldn't be in the playoff hunt without the best season to date from Terry Rozier. He is having one of his really good seasons. Restricted free agency this summer. Starting guard spots are covered. I would say Monk is more of a 3. Maybe he's a little small for the 3, but I don't envision Monk as a shooting guard. I feel like a shooting guard needs to dribble like a little more than Malik Monk. I don't think Malik Monk is the best dribbler in the world. But anyways, towards this argument, you guys know which guard I think should stay. It's Malik Monk. He has higher upside. Devontae Graham is going to cost more, which we could use that money for a center and free agency. So yeah, Chicago Bulls, is Lauri Markkanen a keeper? Nope. That's a pretty easy question that they have to answer this offseason. For the Cavs, is Jared Allen worth 9 figures? What does that even mean? 9 figures. How much money is that? 100 million? Is that what 9 figures is? Because I know 7 figures is a mil. Wow, is he worth an $100 million deal is what they're asked, is the question. Wow. Is he worth that? Is a great question to ask. Is he? So how much would that be? So probably like a 4-year deal. So 25 a year. I wouldn't do that. But if they got like a 4-year deal plus a team option on the 5th year, so it'd be about 20 million a year, I would do that. I would do that for Jared Allen. He's a great center. But the center position is pretty replaceable. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. It's the Cavs' decision, not mine. For the Mavs, can any free agent fill third star void? I've been hearing a lot of Victor Oladipo talk. Maybe Kawhi Leonard. If the Clippers don't pull it out, and if they, I'll say this: if they don't get out of the first round, I think Kawhi's leaving because he realizes that Paul George is just, I don't know, pandemic P in the playoffs. I don't know. For the Nuggets, has Michael Porter Jr. already earned the bag? I'd say so. It's really good that he hasn't had, like, he had COVID at the start of the year, but I wouldn't consider that an injury. It's really good that he hasn't had an injury, which I feel like every player has had a minor injury. Some players having major injuries, like Jamal Murray on his team, but it's a really good sign that he hasn't gotten injured this year, knock on wood. But I think that's a really good sign, and I think that really proves that he has earned the bag. What is he averaging this year? His average outing in this stretch over how many games? Over the 11-game stretch is 25 points. I'm guessing this is without Jamal Murray, is why they're pointing this out. Which without Jamal Murray, he's averaging 25, 6 rebounds, really good splits. Wow. Yeah, I think he earned. Okay, maybe I need to see what he does in the playoffs, and then he earned the bag. I'll say that. But I think the Nuggets are willing to pay him regardless. Pistons, how much has Hamidou Diallo earned? He had that really good game against us where he went off for, like 25 points? If that's their biggest question, then, I mean, they have a really non-stressful offseason. I guess. How much does he want? It's the real question. I don't know what, like $10 million a year for like 3 years, like a $30 million deal for Hamidou Diallo, sure, but I don't know how much. What's his stats looking like? I don't even know. The Detroit Pistons aren't going to be good for the next 5 years, so why am I even worried? For the Warriors, how much is too much for? For the Pistons, they should be asking themselves when's the right time to trade Miles Plumlee or Mason Plumlee, not Miles Plumlee. When is the right time to trade Jeremy Grant? Because I don't see him as a long-term fit. He's already 28, I think, and they're still a rebuilding team with him. So when's I think the better free agency question is when's the right time to trade your good players. They already traded DeLon Wright to make room for Sadiq Bey. So yeah, Warriors, how much is too much for Kelly Oubre Jr.? That's a good question. You already got Clay coming back, but Clay just came off 2 injuries. Not only 1 serious injury, 2 injuries. I think his Achilles got hurt the second time, which is even a bigger long-term injury. So I would say for Kelly Oubre, I think he's gone this offseason. I don't think the Warriors are keeping him. He's been fine this season. He had that rough start, but he's been solid for them, but I don't know. I don't think they have the money to pay him either. Houston Rockets, is Kelly Olynyk coming back? Who could they play instead of Kelly Olynyk on their roster at the 4 position? I don't know. But maybe they should give time to a young guy since they're going to be a rebuilding team for years to come with all their picks that they got. But Kelly Olynyk's been balling out for them. And I did not know he was a free agent this year as well. Do you guys think the Miami Heat are like punching themselves, saying like why? I mean they got Victor Oladipo in return, but it's kind of an uncertainty if he's coming back. Do you think they're punching themselves in the foot about Kelly Olynyk? Because he was pretty solid for them, and he's been solid for the Rockets. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Pacers, how much is TJ McConnell's energy worth? That's a great question because sometimes energy guys get paid, like energy as terms of like the energy on the court, get paid like a lot of money. To a certain degree, you can, Draymond Green is kind of an energy guy, but he's kind of a leadership guy as well. I don't think TJ McConnell is very much of a leadership guy as much as it's just like steals and assists. But he is on my fantasy basketball team, and this dude, TJ McConnell, he'll put up like a 4-point game, but have 9 assists and like 4 steals, and I love him on my fantasy basketball team, but he can't really defend. Zero. Why are they roasting this guy with 0 career dunks? Can this Ryder dunk? I don't think so. Like, I've never knocked a player for not being able to dunk because I can't dunk. So why would I? Anyways, Clippers is Nicholas. Oh god. I hate seeing. I said I was gonna make a video on Nicholas Batum last video, didn't I? And I have forgotten I said that. So is Nick Batum a automatic keeper? It's crazy that Nick Batum went from the most overpaid guy in the league to a solid NBA starter on an NBA contender in half a season. It just blows my mind. Anyways, Lakers, how high will they go for a THT? I don't know. I think some team is willing to outpay them for THT just because of this potential. And the Lakers are strapped for cash this offseason, so we'll see. Grizzlies pricing Jared Jackson Jr.'s extension. You can't price this too high because this man has not stayed consistently healthy for one season. He's been injury ridden for as long as he's been in the NBA. But when he is on the court, he's fine. But he's just always injured. Miami Heat, where are the whales? What does this mean? What does this mean? What? I know this is like an analogy. Where are the whales? I don't know what that means though. In terms of free agents, if Leonard's off the table, I don't know. Miami Heat will be fine regardless. They have a really solid organization, really solid ownership, so they should be fine regardless. Should Dante DiVincenzo get an extension? I think he should. He's another one of those. I mean, he's not really an energy guy like TJ McConnell, but he's just like that glue guy that you can just stick on the court and he's gonna give you good minutes. So, yeah. Timberwolves has Jared Vanderbilt earned another look. I guess he's been fine for them. I think T-Wolves fans like to hype up every player, and they're just gonna end up disappointed in whatever product. But I guess I've never heard of Jared Vanderbilt until the start of the season. Anyways, New Orleans Pelicans. What is Lonzo Ball worth? Yeah, that's a pretty big question for them. I think he's a good fit around Zion. He's slowly starting to develop a shot. I mean, not slowly now because I'm pretty sure he's over 40% from 3, which is just crazy because I didn't expect that out of him to improve that way. But yeah, what is he worth? I heard he was asking for like $20 million a year, which I think is a little bit too much for Lonzo Ball. But anyways, New York Knicks, is this the summer to splurge? They got to pay Julius Randle, I think, or they have a team option. They might have a team option on Julius Randle, but they can offer him an extension onto his contract, I believe. But who would they get in free agency? I heard a lot of Chris Paul talk, but I think if the Suns have a good playoff run, I think Chris Paul is back in a Suns uniform. You got Kawhi Leonard. That's all. Everybody's in rumors to the Knicks nowadays. Damian Lillard was even in rumors to the Knicks. I don't know. I love their team as it is right now, but obviously they need another piece to get to that next level. But Thunder, which up-and-comer deserves their attention? This is my question, and it's going to be my question for every offseason that the Thunder have in the future for the next 10 years because they have so many picks. When is their time to not use those picks in the draft, but use those picks to get a proven player in the league. I don't know when that is, and that's probably going to be a question that they have to ask themselves every offseason is when do we, because the likelihood of using all of their, how many picks, they have like 34 picks in the next 15 years or something like that. The likelihood of using every one of those picks is very unlikely, and I'm guessing they're going to use it on a player that they think will help their team right now instead of just keep rebuilding for the next 15 years. So that's probably my question is like, when is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander going to be fed up with losing, and he's just going to want another guy, and that's probably when they're going to get another guy. He's extension eligible. Wow, time flies. I remember when he got drafted. That's crazy. Magic, which big do they keep? That's a huge question, guys. That is a huge question, especially because they're a rebuilding team, and the center I feel like is a big one for a rebuilding team to get right. And it's a hard thing because Mo Bamba had this really good game against us, and he's had a really good string of games lately now that Vucevic is out. But I think Wendell Carter has also been pretty solid since going there. So I don't know. That's a really good question. 76ers, is it time for Kyle Lowry to come home? I don't know. I don't know what Kyle Lowry is going to do. I don't know. I feel like he should have been traded out at the trade deadline just for my entertainment, but whatever. Anyways, we got Suns. How many extensions are coming? I see Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges definitely deserves an extension. Chris Paul is up for a new contract. I think Devin Booker already got his contract. Yeah, I think that's what they're talking about. I think Mikal Bridges is worth it. Who else is up for an extension? Does it say down here? Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton is extension eligible. I would wait on DeAndre Ayton and give an extension to Mikal Bridges. That's just my opinion, though. Blazers, what's the walkaway price point for Norman Powell? He's been super solid for them. I think that trade will go down in the Raptors' favor in the end, but it looks like a win-win trade now, and I think Norman Powell is a fine player. If I'm being frank, I haven't heard of Norman Powell since like last season is the first time I heard about him, but he's a solid player. He's expecting $20 million. So I would say Lonzo Ball is worth more than Norman Powell, and that's a hot take, but Norman Powell is already like, 27? Lonzo Ball is 24. I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be a tough question. Kings, what's next for Marvin Bagley Jr.? Or Marvin Bagley the third, I guess. Yeah, that's going to be a tough question. I don't know. Whenever I doubt Marvin Bagley, the next game I feel like he goes off for like 25, and I'm like, maybe he is a good player, and then he has like a set of 5 games where he scores like 12 points, or he averages 12 points, and I'm like, maybe he's not good, and then it's the whole cycle again. That's how I feel about Marvin Bagley. Spurs, should Lonnie Walker the fourth get an extension? I don't know. I don't know what the Spurs should do. They got so many young guards that it's hard to know. Like Derek White, DeJounte Murray. Did Murray already get an extension? I'm not sure. And they got Lonnie Walker. So they got a lot of decisions to make because they still have DeMar DeRozan. They still have Rudy Gay, which is, somehow they still have Rudy Gay. They got Patty Mills. They got two contrasting timelines on their team. So I don't know. Raptors, is this the end with Kyle Lowry? Probably. It's my guess. Jazz, how rich and how long should Mike Conley's next contract be? He's already 32, 31, 32. I don't think too much. Although Jazz fans love Mike Conley, he's already 32 years old. He shouldn't get more than a 3-year deal. And yeah, I mean, you're paying him for being a backup, so you gotta take that in consideration. And the last team we have here is the Wizards. Are the veteran free agents worth keeping? And they show a picture of Robin Lopez. Who else is a veteran? Ish Smith, Alex Len. No, all these guys can go. Start getting young guys. and give Robin Lopez to the Hornets, and you guys should be fine. Yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys later.